Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today we're exploring one of the most fascinating modern US coins, the 2009 Lincoln Professional Life 1-cent coin. Don't be fooled by its small size. This penny carries a huge story, and if you have the right one, it could be worth far more than just a cent. So sit back, coin lovers, and let's uncover the secrets behind this special Lincoln penny. The year 2009 marked a double celebration: Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday and the 100th anniversary of his image appearing on the penny. To honor that, the U.S. Mint released 4 unique reverse designs showing different chapters of Lincoln's life: his birth and early childhood, the formative years, his professional life, and his presidency. The professional life design, the one we're focusing on today, shows Lincoln standing proudly before the Illinois state capitol, symbolizing his successful law career and public service before becoming president. Now, let's talk about what makes this coin special for collectors. Most of the 2009 pennies were struck in zinc with a thin copper plating, weighing about 2.5 grams. However, collector sets included a special version made from the classic 95% copper composition, weighing 3.1 grams, the same as the original pre-1982 pennies. That alone gives these coins a bit of nostalgia and desirability. But the real excitement comes from the coin's rarity in high grades and its fascinating mint errors. You see, even though millions of 2009 pennies were produced, pristine examples with a brilliant red luster are surprisingly hard to find in circulation. Uncirculated coins graded MS-67 or higher are considered scarce. Add a visible mint error, and the price can rise sharply. Collectors always hunt for coins that stand out, and the professional life penny has its fair share of intriguing varieties. Some of the most valuable errors include double die varieties where the lettering or the details on Lincoln's figure appear slightly doubled under magnification. Other popular errors are off-center strikes, die cracks, missing plating, or repunched mint marks. Each imperfection tells a story of how the coin was struck, and every unusual detail adds personality and value. Even a small doubling on the columns of the Capitol building can transform a common penny into a rare collectible. To identify if your 2009 penny might be worth more, start by checking the mint mark below the date: P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for the San Francisco proofs. Look for sharp details, strong color, and any unusual texture or alignment. If the coin looks different from others, don't spend it. It might be a hidden treasure. Now let's get to the part everyone's waiting for: the value. In circulated condition, most 2009 professional life pennies are worth just 1 cent. However, in brilliant uncirculated condition, these coins can sell for around $12. High-grade examples in MS-67 can reach about $300, depending on market demand. And if you're lucky enough to own a proof coin with a major error or doubling, it could sell for nearly $350 or more at auction. Some extremely rare error coins from the 2009 Lincoln series have even fetched several $1,000s in bidding wars among serious collectors. So next time you come across a shiny 2009 penny, take a closer look. It might not be just spare change. The professional life design captures an important chapter of Lincoln's journey, and in perfect condition, it could be a valuable piece of American history right in your hand. Top 2, we're taking a deep dive into one of the most fascinating modern U.S. coins, the 2009 Lincoln Birth and Early Childhood in Kentucky 1-cent coin. This little penny isn't just money, it's a piece of history that celebrates the humble beginnings of one of America's greatest presidents. So grab your magnifier, sit back, and listen carefully, because the story behind this coin will make you look at every 2009 penny a little differently. The year 2009 wasn't just any year for U.S. coinage. It marked the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of his portrait appearing on the penny. To honor both events, the U.S. Mint released 4 unique reverse designs, each representing a different chapter of Lincoln's life. The first design, and the one we're talking about today, is the Birth and Early Childhood in Kentucky. It features a simple yet powerful image of a log cabin, the modest home where Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809. This design reminds us that even the greatest leaders can come from the most humble beginnings. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. Although millions of these coins were produced, not all are created equal. The 2009 series came in two metal compositions, the regular zinc version used in circulation and a special 95% copper version made exclusively for collectors in mint sets. The copper ones have a rich red color and weigh slightly more, making them far more desirable for numismatists. Over time, these copper versions have gained significant collector value, especially in pristine condition, but rarity isn't just about how many were made, it's also about the details that went right, or wrong. That's where minting errors come in. Some of the most valuable 2009 Kentucky pennies have doubling errors, where parts of the design appear slightly doubled, especially in the cabin's logs, the windows, or the lettering on Liberty and In God We Trust. Others have off-center strikes, die cracks, or plating errors where parts of the zinc core are exposed. These little imperfections, invisible to most people, are what collectors dream of finding. Imagine spotting a 2009 penny with a doubling so clear it looks like a shadow behind Lincoln's portrait or an off-center strike that cuts through the date. Those coins are rare, unique, and often worth far more than their face value. That's why so many coin enthusiasts still search their jars of change hoping to find one, because you never know what tiny fortune might be hiding in plain sight. Another thing that adds to the magic of this coin is its place in the story of the Lincoln cent. For 100 years, the penny's reverse showed the wheat ears and then the Lincoln Memorial. But in 2009, this Kentucky cabin design broke that pattern and started a short-lived but iconic series. For collectors, that makes it not just another penny, but the beginning of a historic chapter. If you ever find one of these coins in excellent uncirculated condition, bright red, sharp details, no scratches, it's worth setting aside. And if you find one with an error, it's even better. Many collectors are willing to pay a premium for them, and auction houses have already seen impressive results for these tiny treasures. So, what's the real value? In circulated condition, most 2009 birth and early childhood pennies are worth just 1 cent. But uncirculated examples can sell for around $15, depending on color and condition. High-grade red versions in MS-67 have sold for nearly $300. Proof coins from collector sets, especially those with visible errors or doubling, have reached around $400 in auctions. And extremely rare error coins, those with strong doubling or major die breaks, have sold for more than $1,000 to eager collectors. Top 3, we're diving into one of the most talked about modern pennies, the 2009 Lincoln Formative Years 1-cent coin. This tiny piece of copper and zinc is more than just spare change, it's a symbol of hard work, learning, and the rise of a young Abraham Lincoln from a small-town boy into one of America's most respected leaders. And trust me, some of these coins are worth far more than you might imagine, especially if you spot the right errors. So sit back, listen carefully, and let's uncover the secrets of the 2009 Lincoln Formative Years penny. The year 2009 was a special celebration in U.S. coin history. It marked two major milestones: 200 years since Abraham Lincoln's birth and 100 years since his image first appeared on the penny. To honor the moment, the U.S. Mint released 4 unique designs, each showing a different stage of Lincoln's life. The Formative Years design represents Lincoln as a young man in Indiana, sitting on a log with a book in one hand and working tools nearby. This scene captures his hunger for knowledge and his humble beginnings, a true reminder that even greatness starts with curiosity and determination. But what makes this coin so fascinating for collectors isn't just the design. It's the details, the varieties, the errors, and the hidden treasures that make certain coins worth real money. Let's start with how these coins were made. There are 2 main types: circulation strikes made from copper-plated zinc, and the special collector versions made from 95% copper. The zinc coins weigh about 2.5 grams, while the copper ones weigh a bit more, around 3.1 grams. Those copper versions were only included in special mint sets, making them far scarcer and more collectible. Now, here's where the real excitement begins: the famous error varieties. The 2009 Formative Years penny is known for several double-die varieties, and some of them are dramatic enough to spot without magnification. Look closely at Lincoln's hands, the book, or even his thumb. Some coins show clear doubling on his fingers or the edge of the book. These are known as extra finger or doubled thumb varieties. For coin hunters, finding one of these in your pocket change is like striking gold. There are also off-center strikes, die cracks, and plating errors that can add to the coin's uniqueness and value. Imagine finding a penny where Lincoln's hand looks doubled, or the strike is slightly off, giving it that eye-catching misprint look. These aren't mistakes to overlook, they're the reason collectors pay big money for what seems like just another penny, even without an error. High-grade examples of the Formative Years penny are sought after. Coins with a brilliant red shine, no scratches, and sharp detail can bring impressive prices when graded by professional services. Collectors love this design because it connects directly to Lincoln's story, a young man teaching himself to read and shaping the future of a nation, one book at a time. Now, let's talk about value, the part every coin lover waits for. In circulated condition, most 2009 Formative Years pennies are worth just 1 cent. But when you find one in perfect mint state, the story changes completely. Uncirculated examples can sell for around $15. High-grade red versions in MS-67 have reached prices of nearly $300. Proof coins, especially the copper composition versions, often bring between $30 and $60 depending on their shine and strike quality. But here's the real jackpot: certain double-die error coins, like the extra thumb or double finger varieties, have sold for hundreds, and in rare cases, even close to $1,000 at auction. So next time you see a 2009 penny, don't just toss it aside. Check the reverse, look at Lincoln's hands, the book, and his tools. You could be holding one of the most interesting modern pennies ever made. The story behind it, the errors that make it rare, and the values it can reach all combine to make this coin a favorite among collectors. Remember, the 2009 Lincoln Formative Years penny isn't just about money, it's about history, craftsmanship, and discovery. It reminds us that greatness begins in small places, and sometimes, even a tiny penny can carry a story worth telling. Top 4, we're going to explore a small but powerful piece of American history, the 1981 Lincoln 1-cent coin. At first glance, it looks like any other penny you might find in your pocket, but believe me, this coin hides secrets that can make collectors' hearts race. The 1981 penny marks the end of an era for U.S. coinage, a transition that forever changed how the Lincoln cent was made, and that's exactly what makes it special. So, listen carefully and stay until the end, because you might discover that the next valuable coin is already sitting in your coin jar. The Lincoln penny had been a beloved symbol of American change since 1909, honoring the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. For more than 70 years, these coins were made from 95% copper. But by the early 1980s, the cost of copper had risen so much that producing each penny was becoming more expensive than the coin's own value. That's when everything changed. The year 1981 was the last full year the U.S. Mint struck pennies in solid copper, making these coins the final chapter before the transition to the modern copper-plated zinc cents of 1982. This detail alone gives the 1981 penny a special place in collectors' hearts. It's the end of the pure copper era, a time capsule from the days before cost-cutting took over coin production. The coin weighs about 3.1 grams, compared to the lighter 2.5 grams of the zinc versions that came after. Pick one up, and you can literally feel the difference in your hand, but there's more, and this is where collectors really start paying attention. The 1981 penny isn't just famous for its metal composition, it's also known for its fascinating mint varieties and errors. There are two major design types for this year, the Type 1 and Type 2 mint marks, particularly on the proof coin struck in San Francisco. The Type 1's mint mark looks filled or blurry, while the Type 2 is sharp, clean, and much more desirable. The Type 2 proof coins are scarcer and are considered a key find for any Lincoln cent collector. Now, let's talk about the errors and varieties that make some 1981 pennies worth far more than their face value. Some coins show double die obverse errors, where parts of the design, like the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust, appear slightly doubled. These small differences can increase the coin's value dramatically. Others have off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing, or die cracks, where raised lines appear due to cracks in the minting die. There are even repunched mint marks, especially on Denver minted coins, where the D looks like it was stamped twice. Each of these variations can turn an ordinary penny into a collector's prize. Another fascinating thing about the 1981 penny is that, even though it's not ancient, it's now over 40 years old, and finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is becoming harder every year. Most of them have been handled, scratched, or tarnished, but those that have stayed bright red with no marks are considered red coins in grading terms. These brilliant red pieces are the ones that bring serious attention in auctions and coin shows. Collectors love to search for these 1981 pennies because they represent the perfect mix of history, transition, and potential profit. It's a modern coin that still holds the charm of the classic era, the last of the heavy copper pennies before everything changed. Now, let's talk about the value, the part you've been waiting for. In regular circulated condition, a 1981 Lincoln penny is worth just 1 cent. But uncirculated examples, especially those with full red luster, can sell for around $5 to $10. High-grade red specimens graded MS-67 have been known to bring as much as $200. Proof coins from San Francisco with the clear Type 2S mint mark can sell for around $100 or more, depending on quality. And if you happen to find a 1981 penny with a strong double die error or an off-center strike, auction prices have reached as high as $800 to $1,000. Top 5, and last rare coin, we are diving into the world of one of the most collected and talked about coins in American history, the 1979 Lincoln 1-cent penny. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary coin, but hidden in its copper shine could be a small treasure waiting to surprise you. So, coin lovers, listen carefully, because this little piece of history might be worth more than you think. The 1979 Lincoln penny was struck by the United States Mint in 3 locations: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a D, and San Francisco with an S for proof coins. It carries the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, it was among the last true copper pennies before the U.S. Mint switched to a mostly zinc composition in the early 1980s. That alone gives it a special place in collectors' hearts. Now let's talk about what makes this coin exciting. While most 1979 pennies are common and worth just a cent or two, certain varieties and rare minting errors can turn an ordinary coin into a valuable collectible. Some coins show a strong off-center strike, where part of the design is missing. These are loved by error collectors. Others might have a die crack on the word Liberty that looks like a small between the letters B and E. Collectors call this the famous BIE error, and it can make your coin worth much more. There are also proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, made with mirror-like surfaces for collectors. Among them, 2 distinct types exist, the filled S and the clear S. The clear S version is rarer and can be worth many times more than regular proof pennies. So if you see a 1979 penny with an S mark, take a close look under a magnifying glass. It might be a hidden gem. Condition also plays a massive role in the value of your coin. Collectors grade coins by how much of their original luster remains. If your 1979 penny still has that fresh, bright red copper glow, it's called a red coin and is far more desirable than a darker brown one. Even a small difference in color or wear can double or triple its worth. So what should you look for? Check the mint mark under the date. Look for doubling in the letters or numbers. Examine the edges to see if the strike is off-center or clipped. And always keep an eye out for those die cracks and planchet flaws, small mistakes that can mean big money. Collectors love the 1979 Lincoln penny because it represents the end of an era, the last years of the full copper composition, the enduring design of Lincoln's portrait, and the fascinating range of minting varieties and errors. Each tiny detail tells a piece of American minting history. Now for the part everyone's waiting for, the real market prices. A regular 1979 penny in circulated condition is worth about 1 to 2 cents. A clean uncirculated red penny can sell for up to $5 to $10. A proof coin from San Francisco, especially the clear S version, can reach between $50 to $100. Rare error coins like dramatic off-center strikes or strong BIE varieties have sold in auctions for several $100s, and pristine proof or top-graded examples have reached well over $1,000 in recent years. So next time you check your change or search through your coin collection, take a careful look at your 1979 Lincoln penny. You might just be holding a tiny piece of history that's worth more than its face value. Keep collecting, keep searching, and who knows, your next lucky find could be shining right in your pocket.